Hello there, YouTube. This is going to be my poor man's rake repair. Cheap rivets were falling out of here on this part, so we're going to put a bigger rivet with a washer on the other side. You put a washer on the other side to kind of match the head of the rivet. You have more clamping power. I'll drill a hole down a little bit. Here's what's left of the handle. I broke it several times. Under here there's a little lever where you plastic lever where you flip it to lock it how much width you want on the rake. And trust me, if you ever take these rods out, you're going to be in for some fun, because I had this all apart once, flopping all over, and it's made so the rake can go bigger or narrower, because this goes up and down as you see. It'll probably stop about there because I don't have much handle left. Now this piece goes through here, okay, but I'm going to use about 6 feet of conduit, half-inch conduit, okay, because I repaired the handle so much. Well, now I'm going to put a full handle. Well, this is going to go over here, but we got a problem. This is really too big. You can't split this and put it over because it has to slide in this piece of plastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to sand this down with a flapper disc on the grinder, 4.5 inch grinder, get all the galvanizing off, then it should fit. We make sure when we clean this off, we took the burrs out of the inside. And once this is on here, it never has to come off. So once I drive this on here, it's going to be part of the handle. Okay. Should be better repair than I did before. I kept trying to splice that broken handle together. That didn't work. That cheap metal just kept breaking. You get a little carried away raking. I only gave $5 for this rake, but I like how you can adjust it back and forth. You can make it smaller to get into flower beds or somewhere, or you can make it wider. I like how the rake works. I'm even going to repair this part sometime. That's just plastic. This flips down on there to lock the rake where you want it. I'm even going to repair that when the time comes. I've got several ideas. But I've had this apart once. One of these screws fell out and these started falling out all the time. Oh, what a headache. To lay all them side by side and put that bolt in there. Desperate for a rake, but I like it. I can go buy another rake for whatever. I can probably go buy another cheap $5 rake. They don't carry these anymore. I found it like at a dollar store. I haven't seen them this year, but that's the only reason I'm monkeying with it. I like it so much. I can go buy a cheap rake. I can buy one of them big bamboo whatever rakes. I think they were on sale for $8. They used to be like 10 or 12. Real wide for leaves. But we'll show the finished thing when we're done. We're either going to heat that up, we're going to smooth this down. We may heat that up with a torch, because I know if I heat that up with a torch, it's going to expand. It's cheap. This stuff's so cheap you can about cut through it with anything. It's so thin and cheap. That's why it kept breaking all the time. But it has to be that big to slide through this plastic without being sloppy. So, enough of this short video. I'll show the finished product when I get it together. Okay, it's starting to go on there. This is just with the 4.5 inch grinder with a sanding flapper disc. You almost see on film it looks a little smaller. This galvanizing is real thick. I'm out here with the breeze blowing by me. It's blowing. I'm watching the dust fly away from me. Don't breathe in that zinc galvanizing stuff. Don't. If I use this to weld on, I grind it all off. I do it outside with the wind blowing. I even bring a fan outside. I did a lot of it. I've had a big squirrel cage blower before. Don't breathe this stuff in, and wear a dust mask if you're going to be around it a lot. You're not supposed to weld or mess with galvanized conduit. That's all this is electrical conduit. You can see it's starting to go on there. It's on there about an inch. Probably going to warm this up with a torch. It's going to expand. We'll have this in the vise. We'll warm it up. We'll slowly drive it on there because we don't want to bend or break this. This is pretty cheesy. This is pretty cheap stuff. This stuff ain't much thinner than a tin can. I made the holes a little bit bigger for the size of rivet I'm going to use. So, back to getting this on there. It's ready to go on there. Okay, I did do a little more sanding and I drove it on there with a block of wood. Even went past where I sanded it. Had it marked with a blue marker, but he went past a little bit. So this is shoved all the way in here up to about here where you see where it's starting to change. It started getting narrower. Maybe I should have let this cool down. It was hot from the grinder, but I figured it'd warm this up. It's still warm. I really went with the grinder and got it warm. I figured, well, it'll warm this up too. But if that wouldn't have worked, I would have heated this up with my torch slowly. I wouldn't have had it red hot. I just had that warm so it expanded. Now we're going to put it back in the rake, which we're going to have to slide it from the bottom and go this direction up through the plastic. Then we'll get it riveted. We'll be done. Then we'll put a nice cushy foam, maybe it's that pipe insulation. Now we got a 6-foot handle on my rake. With my back, I can't really bend over. This works really great. I can reach out there a long ways with that rake. I reach out a long ways from me. I like that. You can cover a lot of yard. 6-foot handle. I'll put some kind of foam on here. You can buy that pipe insulation and put on that nice cushy handle. This is not bent, it just looks that way on camera when you look down something with the camera. Okay, back to work. We already raked the yard once and the stuff's still falling. And we're done. My teepee rivet gun shucked out, so I just put bolts and nuts in here, and I do have those little internal tooth washers on it. I put some tape here so this wouldn't come off where it changed size. So it does, it's kind of hard to get back on there. It kind of catches on this. This will stop it. Got a little roll of kind of bolts. This will stop it. It only goes this narrow. That's about as far as it was before. Then it spreads wider. Then you lock it down. It's got a little lever here. Six foot plus the rake. That's like 7 foot down there. By the time you have your hand on the handle, that's 6 foot reach. That's a long ways. You can cover a lot of area. I can go one spot and a lot of times I'll rake like into a row. So I can cover like 6 foot, then rake it again. I only rake really the twig stuff. I mow over a lot of my leaves. I never really pick my leaves up. I got these trees with these little stick things on it. 6 foot. Could have bought a rake. This would probably be better now. This could get rusty. I could put some paint on here, but I usually put it up. But you can adjust this and make it narrower. That's why I wanted to save this. This fits in the flower bed good. You want to pick up a little pile. The rake is a lot stiffer and tougher. That's probably one reason I ended up breaking the handle. I'd bear down on this rake and be digging at stuff with it. And just after a while, it's just cheap stuff. That's paper thin metal. Now the conduit goes all the way through, right to where that starts flattening out. It's pounded in there. So if it breaks now, I guess I overdid it. I'll just throw it in the trash. This will be my last repair. Says if you ever have this bolt fall out, you'll have fun. Putting these rods back in here on this, oh, what a mess. Flopping all over. I had to do it sitting at the desk. That's it. Make too long a video on fixing a garden rake. Thanks for watching.